Hey guys, my name is Russell Morgan, also known as the Texas Road Warrior. I'm with Morgan Solutions Realty Group, powered by Keller Williams. One of the questions we get asked quite often is about Texas and property taxes. This is asked by people coming in as well as people that have lived here for a while. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it just a little bit. The first thing we got to think about is Texas is one of 7 states that does not have a state income tax. We have Wyoming, Washington, Alaska, South Dakota, Nevada, Florida, along with Texas that do not have that. So what that does is our state and local governments still needs to function properly. Enter property taxes. So we still have to have all the things in order to make our state and local governments run, whether it be fire department, the police department, equipment, library, etc. Basically anything that the local government and state government need to be able to function. A couple other things that we could look at is Texas is a very affordable as far as cost of living. We're ranked number 19, depending on what scale you're looking at, as a cost of living scale, which is pretty good. Then we have our property affordability, for the affordability of the land itself or the houses themselves. So we have affordability distribution scale, and Texas is about in the middle there. Now, surprise, surprise, California is ranked the worst at 0.5, with Iowa being around 1.17, which is pretty good. We, as Texas, are rated at 0.82, with the national average being 0.85. So that puts us in a good position. What does that actually mean? Texas is a nice place to live. It's affordable. So how do the state and local governments decide on what taxes our property have on them? So the local governments are the one that actually set these rates for our taxes, which means there could be big differences between our counties, our cities, and our taxing districts. So this means if you live on one side of the city, it could be completely different than living on the other city, depending on how that taxing district or zoning is, and who is actually, or the entities that are taxing that particular piece of property. So the taxing entities that could be taxing your piece of property could be anything from your schools, your local school districts, your community college, your hospitals, etc. So how do they actually determine how much is taxed on your property? Well, they're going to take the appraised value of your property. They're going to minus out any exemptions that you may have. Then they're going to take that number, divide it by 100, and then times that by the tax rate in your particular area. Therefore, that ends up with the total amount that you're going to get taxed on every year on that particular piece of property. So what are these exemptions I was talking about? The one you hear about the most is homestead exemption. To qualify for that, you're going to need to have a stake in that piece of property, or you need to be an owner of some sort in that piece of property. You're going to make that your principal residence, and this is where things have changed. It used to be where you would have to be living in that house since the January 1st, but they've recently changed that. So as soon as you can actually prove that you own that piece of property, your name is actually tied to it, you can file. This exemption offers you a $25,000 reduction off the valuation of your school district taxes. So other taxing units may offer additional benefits on the homestead exemption, but that's all on a case-by-case basis. Now, there's also the 65 and up and the disabled tax exemptions would offer an additional $10,000 reduction off the valuation for that local school district.
So here's a full list of all the other property tax exemptions that you can currently have in Texas.
You can find out more about all of these tax exemptions at comptroller.texas.gov. Now make sure that you follow along because all these rules change from year to year, so these exemptions may change just a little bit. Now we get a little better idea of where our property taxes come from, but there's a few other things that could be taxed on there. There is land use development districts. Basically what that means is they are special districts within a defined geographical area that could throw on extra taxes in order to take the infrastructure and build them up to support better communities and better support the local area. So the two that we'll be talking about right now is the MUD, or the Municipal Utility District, or also there is the PID, which is the Public Improvement District. So again, what that means is within those districts, there could be extra taxes involved with that. It's basically a developer taking and throwing that development of that infrastructure and then putting it back on the homeowner in that area. If your land falls within one of these land use development districts, being a MUD or a PID, that needs to be disclosed. Therefore, when you buy land, you know that you belong to one of these districts. So while nobody really likes to pay taxes, if you look at the differences in the net amount of savings that you could have between living in a state that has an income tax and our property taxes here in Texas, a lot of people would come out ahead. So if you're one of those people, or you know somebody that's going to be one of those people, I'd love to talk to them. Yourself want to buy real estate anywhere in Texas, please feel free to contact me. If you're not moving to the San Antonio, Hill Country, or Austin area, I do have a large database of realtors that could help you out and provide great service and answer questions anywhere you live in the States and actually nationwide. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. Remember, if you found this content educational and you've gotten something out of it, please like below, follow, therefore we can reach more people. If you know anybody that could use this, forward this link on to them.
Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And as always,
see you guys out there on the road.